Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Jacob.
and this is another episode of SRQ PokeVets. Gonna go over a little bit what's been going over on the last week, and boy, quite a few things have gone down. And by
Brilliant
going
Stars is
down,
almost here. We're so
yeah,
close.
by going down, there's some downs and some ups, and Brilliant Stars is definitely one of the ups.
We are so close.
Of course.
I've been looking for. So this is actually one of the like I think this is the most excited I've been for a set in a very long time.
Yeah.
But before that, first, if you'll notice, our good old friend Cookie is still not here. He does not like us. I'm kidding, Cook. I know you listen to the podcast. He has other stuff coming up, but he'll be back next week. Knock on wood. Anyway, so some general news regarding Pokemon, and some very very sad news for our friends down here in Florida, like me and Ryan. Orlando has been canceled. Ugh. Okay, so
Uh,
the thing that, first of all, they didn't even make it a proper announcement. It was just removed from the site, from what I saw. And yes, I agree with Ryan. Boo, this sucks. What are your thoughts, Ryan? I feel like I know, but go
Um,
anyway.
well, I mean, like, my thoughts, it's just, it's just based on Pokemon wanting player safety being the top thing, and, mask. They obviously wanted a mask mandate because the whole vaccine mandate kind of got shot down by the Supreme Court, so they can't really fight that. So, um, but the mask mandate was like, hey, we kind of want to have a mask mandate at our event at your convention center in the Orlando Convention Center. And state of Florida is basically, nah, fam, we don't do that shit here. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to pull our event out of your state, basically. And
Yep.
But I mean, player safety is top priority, regardless of how you think or what you think about this whole COVID situation. That's not what we need to talk about right now. But player safety
Yep.
is top priority, no matter what side of the argument you're on.
Absolutely. I mean, it sucks because, like, this is at least the closest to home regional I've had in a long time. Not since Daytona, and Daytona's not that close. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But like you said, I mean, above all, like I've said before on the podcast, more than anything, I just want my friends and I want my family to be safe more than anything. Does it suck? Yes, but hey, there's other regionals. Like, you and me alone, besides not talking to any of our friends and teammates, you and me alone are going to Secaucus, and are you going to Milwaukee? I don't remember.
It depends on my personal situations that we've talked about.
Fair enough. I mean, like I said, there will be more regionals, and I've seen so many comments, like on a couple forums, like blasting the state of Florida, blasting Pokemon. It's just like, guys, again, it's for the safety of everybody playing. It's not that big of a deal, and as much as I'd like to say it doesn't even happen at locals with this mask mandate, you and me both know it does.
Yep. Because, I mean, it's right now at locals, there's no sanctioned tournaments. So it's really the store owner's discretion to uphold a mask requirement for you to be in the store, or, if they're doing live play, to do or be wearing a mask while you're playing. My store, Dark Side, we require a mask while you're in the play area, but you don't need to wear a mask while you're just shopping around in the store. You know, if you're going to walk around in the play area, talk with people in the play area, better put a mask on. You know, we go to Descent in Bradenton, you know, it's a little more relaxed. I know at first it was like, hey, we need to do this, but then it was like, okay, well, you know, pretty much everyone that plays there, we all have gotten our shots. So, I mean, I don't
And
think
then
I don't
speaking
think
from
none of us have gotten it. Yeah, I think all of us have gotten our shot.
And then speaking from my from a local to me, Mez's Comics and Games, same thing as Descent. Everybody over there is vaccinated. They don't care if you mask or not. They won't say otherwise. It just doesn't matter.
But when we get, I mean, you're talking like when we go to, if you go to Cape Coral, it's recommended they wear masks because we have gotten on Tuesday nights like close to 30 players.
Oh wow.
And it's a crazy fun time, but it's not mandatory because everyone tends to wear a mask. But the people that don't wear a mask are typically the ones that are fully vaccinated. So, and there is a sign that says, hey, please wear a mask if you're not fully vaccinated. So, but when you start getting into bigger events, when you're going to get like 50, 100 plus people, you need to start putting more safety precautions out there. It's like, okay, wear a mask. You know, in Orlando, socially distancing wasn't 6 feet for each play or each match. It was 3 feet. So it's like you're just gonna have to follow certain set rules, and you're just gonna have to go with it. I mean,
like take it from me. I mean, like I said this from the beginning. Wizards of the Coast and Star City Games, those the people who run like the big Magic tournaments, set the bar when they did. I know this is Pokemon, but I have to bring this up example. For Magic Fest in Las Vegas, you had to be masked the whole time, and you had to show proof of vaccination to go, and to be let into the building.
And you had to take a shower and smell good.
Okay, that's never unwritten rule. Plus, that's Yu-Gi-Oh, not Magic. Anyway.
No. There has been signs out in front of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh events that said, if your personal hygiene is not good, get out.
I believe it.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Bring back to the point. They set the bar, and when they did, that basically set the precedent for Pokemon, for Konami, for Yu-Gi-Oh, for Bandai with Dragon Ball and with Digimon, and everybody's been pretty much at least trying to fulfill the same requirements with mixed success, as we see with Orlando. Again, I'm disappointed, honestly. Like, I was really looking forward to this. Whenever there's a home regional, that's always the regional I look forward to the most in playing over anything. Like, this, it sucks. It sucks. All right. Let me think. Going back, and as I've said this before, like, regardless how people feel about mandates in general, like, you do have the choice to your body. I don't care. But when it comes to massive safety of others, like Ryan said earlier, and I completely agree, we have to put the safety of everybody over the safety of just the few. That is the biggest thing that I agree on. That's the biggest thing I want to see when it comes to this. Let me think what else I can really say. However, thankfully, there's been no other major regional canceled. As far as we are concerned, more regionals have been added, more overseas. Because we still have the other regionals open for Pokemon there are 5 left for Pokemon the rest of the year. We still have Salt Lake City, which will be the first regional of the year for TCG. Then we will be heading to Secaucus in May, which will be great. Yep. A few weeks later, we're back in, or actually, no, we have Indy first weekend of May. Then Secaucus, 20th to the 22nd of May. The next weekend in Vancouver. And then a few weeks later, we round out the US and Canada regionals with Milwaukee. And hey, if you want to travel outside the US, there's still Europe. We finally got European and Latin America regionals announced. We got Liverpool, we got France, and we have Germany, and LATAM with Brazil and I don't know what SC is. I apologize. And back to Oceania too. Regardless how you feel about what happened with Florida, regionals are going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I mean, that is all I have regarding this topic. My co-host has taken a small break real quick to take care of something, so I'm just trying to think of something to say. I'm not good at this. Let's see. I mean, I know talking with... I think I hear him coming back. I hear mumbles.
I'm back.
There we go. I am not good. There's a little bit of dead silence because I am not good at ranting. Especially when I am not prepared. Anyway, I basically just said it doesn't really matter. It sucks that Orlando's gone, but hey, there's still plenty of regionals still left to go. I went over the schedule real quick with both in the US and out. But
do you have special events?
I did not go over the special events, but there are none in the US, so I don't really care.
No, they're not in the US.
Nope. There's only 2 in Spain and Italy.
Yeah.
But other than...
I think they're to be announced dates.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's still a few we don't... There could be more. Who knows? Right. Ryan, do you have any last minute thoughts on this before we get to talk a little about more Brilliant Stars?
I do have a side thing that I want to say. We aren't officially sponsored, but I do want to do a shout out because this person has been very helpful to me in my life, and they have a business locally in Sarasota. It's called Serenity Wellness. It's a CBD shop. They do a lot of homemade CBD recipes to help with anxiety, headaches, pain, anything you can think of, they do it. They're out, I believe it's not Siesta Key. God, I'm horrible with directions. St. Armand Circle. If you're out that way, look them up, stop by, tell them Ryan sent you. The owner's name is Joy. That's my godmother. Joy, if you're listening, love you. But that's all I have to say. We can move on to the next topic.
Love it. I mean, hey, I can't do any CBD products or smoke that 420 shit for military reasons.
CBD,
but
yeah, CBD isn't THC. Just saying.
Oh, fair enough. Anyway,
yeah.
I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, so before we jump, real quick, like I said, Brilliant Stars pre-release was this last weekend. At least the first one for us. I have never seen so much draw support in a pre-release before. It was kind of unnerving.
I mean, you haven't done a pre-release in a very, very long time, right?
Okay, yes, that is correct.
Didn't you do Fusion Strike?
I did not, actually.
Oh, okay. So the last one was Sword and Shield.
Yes, the last pre-release I did because of scheduling
COVID and
issues,
shit.
and COVID, Sword and Shield base set was the last pre-release that I did.
Yeah, there has been draw support and everything, but yeah, this one has been like, holy crap. Okay, draw 3 cards. Okay, discard or research, hop, research, hop, research, hop. I'm just like, oh my god, like
Abyssal
can we,
Hand, trade, Abyssal Hand, trade. Just
yeah,
so much.
it was crazy. But
How are
but yeah,
your polls over the weekend, Ryan?
my polls?
Yeah. Hey, everybody loves a good pre-release poll report.
Haunch Crow V, 4 capes of toughness. Let's go.
The good old 420. I mean, hey, I only opened 1 kit and I got super lucky. Full art
Or,
Raichu, character rare Houndoom, and a Flygon V. I will take that.
but I did manage to score a Charizard V-Star with awful, awful, awful centering. Awful
Yes, it did.
centering.
Yep, can confirm.
And an RCSV. You go on TCG Player, tell me how much an RCSV is. $15. Guess how much one just sold for on eBay on the 12th, the day that we did our pre-release? $8. So I got one for $8 because I was like, hey, none of them are for sale on TCG Player right now. They're all pre-sales, but one just sold for $8 on eBay, like just sold right now. So I was like, I'll give you this Leafeon V-Star that I just got. It's $9, and they're like, okay. I feel bad that it was a kid, but at the same time, I need it for a deck. But we'll get into that talk later.
I will say, our good buddy Joe Jammer had the best pulls of the weekend. A RC from his judge packs, as I like to call them, an RCS V Star, and then from a single pack, character rare Mimikyu VMAX and a rainbow RCS V Star. I got so excited. Joe, if you're listening, I apologize for this. I love you. I got so excited. I patted him on his shoulder several times. My mind blanked on his condition. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would have decked you.
Yeah, I know. Like that's fair. Like I wouldn't have blamed you because I was so excited. My mind went burr.
Oh no, 100%. Like I would have been like jumping up and down, but the second like hands would have touched me and I felt that pain, I would have just like, bah.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. But also something I discovered and did not know. Apparently, the gold Urshis are in the reverse slot.
Yes, because I was sitting right next to him when it got pulled.
Yep, I was sitting next to Bob and his sister when they pulled theirs.
Were we playing each other?
No.
Were you in the back?
I was in the front near Joe.
Oh, so we were sitting next to each other. Got it.
Oh wait, we were. Yeah.
When they pulled it, I was at table 3.
Yeah, I was at 2. I was the one playing Bob.
Oh, got it.
Who had an absolutely busted pre-release deck, by the way.
Yeah. Everyone gets good pulls besides Ryan over here.
Hey, it's better to get better luck during actual tournaments than pre-releases. Let's leave it at that.
No, I get better luck in my judge packs.
Exactly.
If I get some.
Yeah.
I'd rather sell my all my kits and give out packs than to keep more product for myself. I know a lot of other judges and professors are a lot more selfish than I am. When I first started, you best believe I was selfish. I was like, nope, more product for me. I tried every way to be like, no, we can do this, this, and this, and I can keep this box.
This is mine now.
But now it's, I do my pre-releases on Sundays because that's when my store does Pokemon School, and that's when more kids show up, and that's who I want at my pre-releases is the kids, because I love it when a kid's day is fucking made when they're like, oh my god, I just pulled this rainbow card, and I'm like, oh, you just pulled the most expensive card in this set. And let me just say, backtrack, Joe pulled the most expensive card in the set because none at the time, I don't know if there is one now, probably is, but at the time on February 12th, 2 days ago, there was not one Arceus V-Star Rainbow for sale anywhere, Facebook, eBay, or TCG Player, that I could find, or anyone else in the store at the time could find. So really, he could have set the price for that card and just posted it for $500, you know. And he could have, like, he set the price if he would have posted that thing for sale. But he's a collector. He loves his cards. He loves his pretty cards, as you can see by his binders. But but yeah, I mean, it's great when a kid's day is made. You know, every pre-release I go to, no matter what store I go to, what city I'm in, what state I'm in, a kid that it's their first time, or it's like a family comes in, the parents play and the kids kind of play at home, but it's their first pre-release, and they're like, "Oh, I've never played before," and they got to get it explained to them by the parents, and they're like, "Oh my god, you just pulled like the most amazing card," and it's always a kid that pulls like the best cards, and all the adults are like, "Well, fuck me, right?" Like, we're trying to get here for either profit for collections or for decks, but nope. Kids always get them, and then you're like, "Can we trade you for that card because we need them for decks, or can I buy it?" No, I think we're gonna hold on to it, and then they never do anything with it.
Yep. I mean,
Anyway, I can go on and on, so
I
I'm gonna
mean,
stop ranting.
I'll say one more thing before we move on. Is just that I've always made a habit, especially in my old stores, when we had like little mini leagues where kids would come out to play and trade and open stuff. I always made a habit of, hey, if a kid saw something in my binder, he's like, "Hey, do you want to trade for that?" I'm like, "Of course!" Like I always trade with them. But if they see something, if I don't see anything worth trading, and like they really want, I'm like, you know what, just have it. Like if anything's in the binder, I'm not gonna play. So if it makes a little kid's day, it's worth it to me. Anywho's, all right, main topic time. So as we said, with Brilliant Stars coming out, we got some deck lists that have come out of Japan. Thank you, shout out to Zapdos TCG for the videos that me and Ryan are basing our talk on, because he has some lists that have been coming out of Japan. That are very interesting. I'm curious on your take on a lot of these lists, Ryan. So starting off, Duraludon. I already don't like this particular list that he has for a reason I will get into in a second.
So Duraludon, I mean, already is a great deck. I mean, it's already a hard deck to beat. You know, but with Path shutting those abilities down, you know, you're you're getting around it, but you know, there is such a thing as dead drawing and not getting the stadiums and not being able to use those abilities, and that's what's killing the Duraludons. But I know why you want to go on this rant. Before you do, what I like about this deck is the energy acceleration that can help this deck out with Arceus. You know, just Arceus V Star, you know, use that double turbo energy, attach that, have the Duraludon on the V or the V Max or multiple on the bench. You're going to be searching out that fighting and those metals, and you're going to be attaching them quickly. And you're not wasting your time turn by turn, slowly attaching them. You know, with metal Pokemon, you got Metal Saucer, and with water Pokemon, you got Melanie. I mean, now with fire, we got Magma Basin and Kindler and all those fire stuff again. But Arceus is going to be played in pretty much almost every deck now, because they couldn't let ADP die. They just couldn't let it die. I mean, that's the only thing I hate about this card, but the only thing I like about the whole situation is that the GX is not a thing. There's no
Yep.
extra prize taken.
Yep.
So, but the only thing I like is the energy acceleration.
Yep. So here's my thing about Arceus, just in general. I have no issue with Arceus being a support Pokemon in these lists. I think it's great. I cannot deny its power. I think it's awesome. However, when people are putting Arceus in higher counts than the main attacker of the deck, which is like this Duraludon list, that annoys me. And also, double turbo. It's the same. It's this thing with like double turbo, a 4 of in this list. Like I understand you need, like, people will hate me for this and they'll call me how, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but like, you don't need double turbo in these lists, especially when Arceus is meant to focus on Duraludon, not on itself. And the fact that so many of these lists where it's a little bit more forgivable in something like Duraludon, where like you need specific energy, but later on, when because I've heard talks of Arceus in decks like Raichu and in decks like Scorch, which want one energy and one energy alone, and I cannot stand that card period in those lists. Arceus, I'm cool with. Double Turbo, can't stand it because it doesn't help your main game plan. Okay, sure, you can use it as Ultra Ball or Quick Ball fodder, but what do you do if you draw it late? You can't get rid of it. It's a dead card, and it's going to be stuck in your hand for the rest of the game that you can't even use. That is my biggest problem, is these double turbo just stands who refuse to get off of it. And again, with Raichu and Scorch, essentially, if you read the cards, it's a dead card to both of those decks.
Well,
except for Arceus.
Isn't double turbo just colorless anyway?
Yes, that's my biggest problem.
Well, you couldn't use that in Raichu anyway.
You can't use it in Scorch either.
Yeah.
Because that's why I say I have such a problem with it.
People are actually putting that in those decks?
People are thinking about it from a couple of my buddies who I've been talking to.
Okay, we'll get to that when we get to those lists.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. Like, if you want to keep up at home, this is the best decks, Brilliant Stars, 40 plus deck list from Japan video by Zapdos TCG. Again, shout out, thanks for letting us use the video, even though we didn't ask. But overall, Duraludon still gonna be a great deck. Other than my whole Arceus rant, still a pretty solid list. I like the one of a single strike mustard. I think that card is hilarious. But and I think I'm seeing a lot more Avery in new decks, so I think that's gonna be funny. Okay, I think we can just move on to the next list. I'm getting a call, so give me 2 seconds.
Okay, I'll go on for the next list. So next list that's on the list, Mad Party. We all thought it was gonna die, but let me tell you, Mad Party's coming back hard with a vengeance. And the reason, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Double Turbo, also a thing that we have again, Manaphy, we've talked about in previous episodes, blocking that bench. You're not going to be able to do the bench damage. I mean, damage counters, obviously, with attacks, but not attack damage, so you're not going to be able to do Jolteon or any of that stuff.
Okay, I'm back. What's up?
I'm just going over Mad Party.
This deck.
So, basically, just said it's coming back with a vengeance. Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, Turbo Energy,
Hate this deck.
Jolteon.
Hate this deck.
Finneon V for the Tapu Lele support search.
Hate it.
But yeah, I mean, it's it is definitely going to be a strong competitor, single prize deck again. I mean, you got the
So
choice belts in there. Do
I had
30 damage.
I had a conversation with one of our buddies recently about this deck. I do not think I think Mad Party is overhyped, because while I think it does get better with this set, like by a lot, I think that those people who play Mad Party are going to eat themselves alive in bigger tournaments. Like they'll be placed round one and then they'll be knocking themselves out. And then when the deck doesn't perform the way people think, I think people are going to drop off. Because I personally think that because people are like super excited for it for double turbo energy, that minus 20 damage is going to mean a lot more than people think it will. Because that can make the difference between getting the knockout and not, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's what's going to hurt a lot of things, but that's why there's only a 2 of in this specific list.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be used as the main focus of the energy, but it's to add on to your energy count because you got the 4 twin, 2 turbo, 2 psychic. So
Yep.
I mean, you're getting good on that, but here's the one thing I don't really understand why it's in this list, because you're definitely not going to use Finion, or not Finion, frickin'
Luminion?
yeah, Luminion V as an attacker.
Nope.
But there's a Ryon in here.
Yep.
Frickin' stupid.
Yep. I agree completely. All right.
Anyway.
That's all I want to say about this deck. I still hate it. Moving on. Ice Rider. See, this is the kind of with this build, because it's a 3-2 and a 2-2. 3-2 Arceus, 2-2 Ice Rider. This is the kind of like separation I want to see with Arceus. It should not be higher than a 2-2 or a 3-2 in lists, in my opinion. I know you have to go lower on the Arceus's, yes, because the Inteleon line is in this list, which I agree still. But this is where it should be. Because Arceus is a support Pokemon, people. It is not meant to be the attacker. Stop building it like it's supposed to be. Or like that's how it's supposed to be. Jeez. I like looking at this list. Looking at this list in particular, like I like the choice. Like it's pretty much your normal Ice Rider shtick. I do like. I think the one of the Leon is really cheeky. Like gets you that extra little bit of oomph for certain Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't like the Sharon at all. I understand what it's supposed to be to pick up your Arceuses, but like it's a one of. It's not going to come up as much as you think it is. I don't like the Sharon's care in the list. That's just me though. You got anything?
No, not for this list.
Yeah, like I said, I don't like the Sharon's care list. I think this list is going to change tremendously in a few months when the Inteleon line goes bye-bye. But that's for a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Okay, it's your boy Gengar. Ryan, what do you think? This is a very controlly build. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah, I really like the 4-3 line and then the 4-4 line of Arceus. Just kidding.
Thank God.
Yeah, I mean it's 4-3 line Gengar VMAX, 4-3 line of Houndour Houndoom, 1 Crobat, and then trainers. And then 4 single strike energy, 4 hiding, 2 dark energies. But I mean, yeah, this is a very controlling list. I mean, it's very interesting to see Dark coming back with control, but
yeah,
it's gonna get a lot better next set.
Mm-hmm. So my only thing with this list, and this is coming from someone who plays a lot of single strike Urshifu, is I don't like that there's only 2 Urn of Vitality in this list. I understand you're running a lot more like energy than typical in this list. You're running 10 in compared to like 8 we usually see. But those urns decide games a lot more than people think. I don't like the fact it's only 2. I think it should be 4.
Oh yeah. Anytime that I see Houndoom and 4 single strike energies, if anyone tells me that they play less than 3, 3 is my minimum, but I always say 4.
Yep,
If
I agree.
anyone says 1 or 2 or 0, I'm like, y'all are freaking stupid.
Yep. Like
it's just like how I say playing 4 battle VIP pass is stupid. Waste of
Hey
space.
now. Hey, you don't need to call me out right now.
Waste of space.
But like I think the Team Yell Towel is a cute little inclusion. Same with the Poke Gear. Karen's could be a nice Karen's Conviction's a nice finisher. I think we're gonna see a lot more. I think we're gonna see a lot more Avery moving forward with a lot of these lists. I'm surprised he didn't pick up earlier in terms of popularity.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see a lot of these lists. There's one list on here that I'm really interested in looking at, and I'm really upset that there's not one list on here at the same time.
Other than that, I don't really see much else for Gengar. So next is another single prize deck, Rapid Strike Malamar. Ugh. Another deck that I really hate, and I never thought was good, and I still don't think it's good. You go off first on this one because I have thoughts.
Well, I mean, Rapid Strike Malamar is like super consistent. Like, I don't have a problem with this deck. I
really don't. So here's my issue. And this is an issue with me personally playing with single prize decks. Period. Is that you are a lot more susceptible to falling behind than you are with other decks, just because these decks are usually not can sometimes not be very consistent. Plus, there's an incident at our locals because of this deck that kind of soured my taste for it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like I said, I'm just not a fan of it. I get why it's good. I get why people play it, but like I personally just don't like it.
Yeah, but
it's too much random chance. And so okay, I know it's Pokemon. I know it's Pokemon. I know it's a card game. There's too much more random chance than I like. Also,
what? All right. So I'm done with Rapid Strike Malamar unless you got other stuff.
I have one more thing to say. Also, why are you running Vitality Band, not Choice Belt? That's it. All right, next one.
I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at right now.
Okay, so this was the first deck that our buddy Clayton showed me when this came out. It's just Arceus Box.
Yeah, it really is.
Hey, you have a problem with something in the meta? Okay, just bring it out and kill everything. That's the game plan of this deck, apparently.
Apparently.
For those who are not able to keep up, this deck has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 one-ofs as attackers.
Yeah. But it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 Pokemon. Arceus Box, as Zapdos TCG called it, Arceus V-Star Counter Box. So, counter anything. I mean, 2 Arceus V-Stars, 4 Arceus Vs, 2 Galarian Ultras Vs, 1 Galarian Zapdos. I mean, you name it, it's probably in here. I mean... Hoopa!
And Ditto, and Crobat, and Lumineon, and Eldegoss, and Yveltal, and Pumpkaboo. This deck is just essentially Arceus birds.
Yep. But I mean, the trainers look good to me.
I think this deck is funny as hell, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it's like, oh, okay, hold on one sec. Oh, okay, you're weak to dark. Let me bring out my Moltres. Oh, you're weak to fighting. Oh, let me bring out my Zapdos. Oh, you're weak to freaking water. Let me bring out my Finneon for whatever reason. Oh, you got a stadium, Pumpkaboo. Scoop up, Pumpkaboo. Scoop up, Pumpkaboo. Even though there's no scoop ups in this list, but I'm just saying.
yep. This this is just another issue I have with Arceus in general, because people are, because this deck, I think it's funny. I think it's funny as hell how they put this deck together. But this brings up my biggest issue with Arceus as a card, and I think it's going to warp the format completely. I absolutely agree. But it's not meant to be in every single deck. And so many people are trying to shoehorn it into every single deck, and it annoys me.
Well, I do have some good news for you.
Okay.
If you go to the next deck on the list, you'll see a 1/1.
It's still in the list.
But it's a 1/1.
Whatever. But this is okay. Shadow Rider. our boy Steven's pet deck, when he will ride and die until it rotates out.
Yup.
I mean, this is pretty much the normal standard list, minus, okay, now you have Whimsicott, now you have Arceus, now you have Ultra Ball. There's not much else really changing.
And Tapu Lele GX.
And Lumineon, yes. But, and again, there is turbo energy in this deck. I still hate it. I understand. I know what you're going to say. I know you can use it in this deck compared to like something like we mentioned with Centiskorch and Raichu, where you couldn't. It still annoys me.
Oh my god. I'm so excited for this next list.
I mean, do you have anything left for Shadow Rider?
I don't.
Oh, no. What is next? Oh!
Rayquaza with
Ray.
Pikachu V-Union.
Oh, good lord.
I like
Ray. So
with
another pet deck of a friend of ours, Benton, who refuses to stop playing this deck. I don't know why he still does. So the V-Union. First of all, I think this is the first deck list we've seen in a long time that actually uses a V-Union.
Yes. But we have another one on the list that I'm really excited to look at.
We'll get to that later. First, but I mean, I do like seeing something like the Rose, because okay, you can get your fire energy back really reliably. Plus Ray lets you draw in the cards. I'm okay with, again, still turbo energy in this stupid deck. Anyway, I think the V-Union is hilarious in this list, because the Pikachu V-Union is low-key very good.
Yes.
Like, and now that Ultra Ball is in the format, I think V-Unions could actually be viable now. Or at least more viable. Now, I want to ask you a question, Ryan. What the hell happened to Ray? Because I remember when Evolving Skies was being previewed and it was being spoiled and all this, people were so excited for Ray, and then it did absolutely nothing.
Because let me tell you a little about Pokemon. There's this thing called wording.
Yes.
What does Ray VMAX's attack say?
Give me 2 seconds so I can look that up, because I don't remember off the top of my head. Give me a second while I type up into our handy dandy friend Google. Are we talking the VMAX or the V?
VMAX.
Okay, so Rayquaza VMAX, for those who don't know, like myself, 320, stage 1. Azure Pulse, discard your hand and draw 3. That's why I think Rose is very good. And then Max Burst for a fire and a lightning. 20 plus. You may discard any amount of basic fire or any amount of basic or basic amount of
Exactly.
lightning from this Pokemon. This attack is 80. Wait, what? Well, 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't want to get rid of the fire anyway, but still, what?
Yeah. So a lot of people were playing at locals, including myself, that thought, oh, the fire is included because of the wording, how it was worded on the V was somewhat different than the V Max. But then it's like the rulings came out, and then I was like, oh, yeah, we got to change this up. You can only discard one. Like, I don't know if I skipped over wordings or just like wanted to read what I wanted to understand, which is probably the case. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, like I've been playing this wrong the whole time. So, but
Yeah.
that is why that
Oh,
Ray didn't do as well as
people
everyone
thought.
thought it would.
Yeah. That's, huh. I still don't think it's a good, I still don't think it'll be good in this next format. Sorry, Benton. Moving
So
on.
I kind of want to skip down.
You don't want to talk about Glorian Moltres?
We can go back up there.
Okay, what you got for me?
Mewtwo V Union.
Oh wow, this is really far. Wait, what? Oh, there's a but. Oh wait, you're talking. There's a bunch of ads.
So
There.
until you get there, you got the Mewtwo V Union, and then you got a 4-3 line of Arceus. Then you got a 2 Zacian V, 2 Lumineon V, 1 Zapdos V, 1 Galarian Articuno V, 1 Crobat V. That's your.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this deck.
So since
Although my only complaint, and I will say this about this list, I would have put in Aurora Energy instead of the basic fighting, but that's just me.
So I did buy the Mewtwo V Union box at the pre-release.
I saw.
So, I mean, I'm just reading what some of these attacks do. The top left does attach up to 2 psychic energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. The top right, 2 psychic and 1 colorless super regeneration. Heal 200 damage from this Pokemon. Bottom left, Psysplosion. 2 psychic, 1 colorless. Oh, okay. Spread much? Put 16 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like.
Oh wow.
Bottom right has an ability, Photon Barrier, prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Damage is not an effect. And for 3 psychic and 1 colorless, final burn for 300 damage. Weakness, dark, resistance, fighting, retreat 2, health 310. To go back to the Pikachu one, do you know what the Pikachu one does?
It item locks you, and then
I bought that one too, so I got it right here. Top left, 1 colorless, Union Gain, attach up to 2 lightning energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon. Top right, lightning colorless, shocking shock for 120. Flip a coin if heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Bottom left, 2 lightning, 1 colorless, disconnect 150. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. And then bottom right, 2 lightning, 1 colorless, Electro Ball together, 250 damage, weakness, fighting, resistance, none, retreat 2. I mean, that's pretty good for Rayquaza, if you ask me, because you got the Flaffies to get the energies back.
Yep.
Rose counts for the... No, it doesn't. Because Rose is VMAX.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Of course.
But yeah,
shit.
I think Mewtwo and Arceus will be a pretty interesting deck.
Well, let's see if it has any staying power, because that's the biggest thing about a lot of these lists, is that these are preliminary lists from Japan,
Oh,
and
yeah,
once we
yeah,
get more bigger play, we'll see if these lists actually survive.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Galarian Moltres, the rogue deck that everyone either really loves or really hates. I am personally on the really hates side of this argument. I can't stand this deck.
Same.
And it literally looks no different than the list pre Brilliant Stars. So I don't know really anything to say. Do you got anything?
Trying to see what's different.
I mean, there's the Wheezing variant that has Sableye and Big Moltres, has Cynthia's Ambition, which, by the way, love that card. I think it's awesome.
Well, I mean, this list doesn't have Weezing.
Move down a little bit on the time. It'll give you a different list.
Oh.
See it?
Hold on.
Any success?
Nope.
All right. Well, we both don't like the decks. So we don't need to say on it.
The thing, but anyway, I know the work that you're talking about, but
yeah. So, hey, the next deck we like to talk about is a deck very near and dear to your heart, Ryan. And I say that with no sarcasm whatsoever. Rapid Strike Inteleon, the big one.
Oh, totally.
Oh, God.
Let's see what's newish in this one.
I mean, I like the one of a Brawly. I've always been a fan of that deck, or that card. I think it should be used more, but I understand why it's not. But 2 choice belts. And why is there only 3 Rapid Strike Energy? There should be 4. And no, I actually really don't like this list. Because I understand why you wouldn't have Water Energy in this deck, because you have Pats at the Peak, which turns off the ability of your big shooty boy. But, like, still have it so that when you don't draw into your Rapid Strike Energy, you're able to at least still attack or something, you know?
Yeah, it's... To be honest, I tried it, didn't work for me, gave up, never went back.
I remember I beat you with that.
I wish it was better. I don't think it can be, to be honest.
People, this deck has its lovers, and they refuse to let this deck die. I've seen it so much online.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. After that, an interesting list that I did not expect to see. Delmise. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't know what the VMAX does, so I can't really give my...
Well, let's go back to our handy dandy little friend that is Google. Delmise VMAX. There we go. So a 330 VMAX, 330 HP. Swinging Chain for a single grass. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. And Max Anchor for Grass to the Colorless, 240. During your next turn, this Pokemon cannot use Max Anchor. With this list, that's honestly not too bad.
Yeah, just looking at the trainers and everything, it looks like it should work.
Yeah. Again, while I'm not against Arceus in this particular build, because you do need a lot of grass energy to make a swinging shot really good, I still hate the double turbo. I still hate it. I say this, and yeah, I'm probably going to eventually have to run it that way in at least one of my decks. Um, I'm also again not a fan of the single Sharon. Like I like it a little bit better in this list because you have shady dealings, so you can find it when you need it. But like if you don't have it, I'm still not a fan.
Yeah.
So next list was Mewtwo. We already talked about that. Okay, so the next list after that is actually a pet deck of mine for a very long time, and that's Rapid Strike. Is what?
Maybe you should try this.
So here's the list: Rapid Strike Urshi with Inteleon VMAX. I've been trying to make Inteleon VMAX work in this deck for so long. It's just the numbers were never there.
And now you possibly have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, looking at this build, like I really enjoy. I actually think it's really good. Like, I would maybe bump up the Rapid Strike Urshifu line up 1 to 2-2 instead of 1-1. That's just me though.
Yeah.
Like maybe get rid of the rod and maybe get rid of the Brawly, but like other than that, I really enjoy this list. I think it's actually really good.
Yeah.
And you have Paths to the Peak. So in previous iterations of Melanie Fu, which made me tear my hair out, Duraludon was just an auto loss. Unless you could outspeed him. But if you have Paths to the Peak, it doesn't matter. But yeah, you got your typical Inteleon line with your Rapid Strike Surge with Artillery. Got the Medicham, which, by the way, Medicham comes in clutch so many times. It is so funny. I would also probably add one more Melanie, especially because there's so much water energy in this deck. But again, that's just me. I don't have anything else regarding this deck. I just generally like it. Oh wait, actually, if you scroll down the timeline a little bit, there is a list that does what I was talking about, where it is a 2-2 line of the Urshifu and a 2-2 line of the Inteleon. And in this list, there is 2 Melanies, like I was saying. There's a Judge in this list. That is actually really funny to me.
Judge.
Oh god, regionals are going to be so much. All right. Moving. I have nothing else on Rapid Strike Urshifu. I might eventually put it back together once this deck comes out, but I don't know yet.
A deck that I did not expect.
Malamar. Freaking Malamar.
With a 4-3 line of Arceus.
Shocker. Actually, so our friend of the podcast, Clayton, has been really on this deck in particular. He has really loved Malamar VMAX. I think this is one of those cases where, like, again, you kind of because the energy count is so restrictive, you do need Arceus in this deck. That's the only reason it makes it work. And the fact that it's not weak to fighting is also huge. But the problem I see with Malamar is I don't see any lasting power, mostly because it rotates before anything really meaningful will happen.
Yeah. But
it is a really annoying deck because this, as you can see from this list, it is a very control-heavy deck. Because Malamar says, "Hey, you see this card that's in your hand? You don't get name," which is annoying as hell. Yep, exactly. All right, moving forward.
Then we go to my baby.
Your boy. Can we hold off on this one?
We can.
Because that will be for the last bit of our show where we talk about what we are personally going to build from this set. So for now, Charizard, we will skip. Moving on to another Dark deck. Dark is not... Why is... Oh, God.
I don't know why Dark is so prevalent right now because it's not good right now. It's next set where Dark Patch comes back and there's just... Like, yes, Dark is good. I shouldn't say it's not good. It is good. But this specific deck, this one specifically is not good. Eternatus
Mhm.
V and VMAX is not good anymore.
Nope.
Stop playing it. Just
Nope.
stop. Wait till
Bad.
Dark Patch comes back, then play it.
But Ryan, you may ask, won't it rotate in like 3 months after Dark Patch comes out? Yes, that's the point.
Exactly.
Rest
Played
in
and
peace.
expanded what I don't play. Even
Rest
though
in
I
peace.
do play, but I play Dark Box, but I play a good Dark Box, not stupid Eternatus.
Rest in peace, Brando, because Eternus was his pet deck for so long. Uh,
Bad, Brandon. Stop playing it. Stop. Stop
moving
it.
on.
Get some help.
Another Rapid Strike Inteleon deck with Arceus. I hate.
Yeah! 4-3
I hate.
line.
I hate this deck. I think it's bad. I think this deck is awful, actually.
Okay, we can skip it then. Oh,
Well,
yay.
no,
Ed.
especially because why is there no Rapid Strike energy in this deck? Why?
Because it's bad. Because
True.
they're using Arceus for energy acceleration, which shouldn't be a thing with that specific Inteleon.
Yep. Anyway, moving on. Jolteon.
There's nothing different.
I mean, there's a few I actually told our good buddy Josh that he should start running Raikou in his Jolteon deck. Because I think Raikou is going to be a really good card for Jolteon. But that's really the main change. I don't think Jolteon is going to be as good next format as people think, purely because Manaphy is back, so that's going to shut down your bench shooting a lot. Even with Inteleon, you're going to need at least 2 turns to kill it. And with fighting going to still be very, very good next format, I think Jolteon might actually just die out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Then the big thing of this video, the last big part, still going to be the best deck in the game. Next format, Mew.
Yep. BDIF, 100%. Even though it's weak to dark, still, it will dominate meta. 100%. It will dominate.
Absolutely. Like, it I've ranted about this card before. It just has so much going for it. Hey, need more damage? Power Tablet. Hey, need to do some energy acceleration? Sparkle. Hey, need card draw? Genesect. Hey, need to get out of there? Free Retreat. Hey, need damage reduction? Oricorio. Hey, need a 1 price attacker? Meloetta. Just, this card is so overtuned. This deck is just so broken. This deck. Now, let me preface this. I do not think that Mew will or will ever get to the point of problematic that ADP did. I do not think anything in this deck needs to be banned. Because while I'm very annoyed by this deck, I have beaten it so many times. Single Strike eats this deck alive. But it is still extremely good.
Yeah, and I mean, I've played this deck for a long time, and I mean, obviously not with these cards that we're looking at, but you know, I stuck with my old list with 1 Latias and no Meloetta, 1 Oricorio, 4 Genesect, and then a 4-3 line of Mew VMAX. I played 1 Battle VIP Pass, 4 Crams, no Rotom phones. And I mean, played the typical trainers. I mean, I played the 4 different stadiums. But I just don't like the 4 Battle VIP passes. Like, I understand if like okay. Here's why I don't like 4 Battle VIP passes. What if you can't get them in your first turn?
I mean, as someone who has come to that issue very well, I think 4 Battle VIP Pass won't nearly be as bad moving forward because of the fact that now we have Ultra Ball, so you'll be able to get rid of those spare ones a lot easier.
Yeah. But for this specific list that we're looking at, I would say take 2 VIP pass out, put in 2 more choice belts or something, because if you have to attach that or 1 choice belt and another phone or something. Oh, wait, they don't have 4 sparkle? No, I guess you don't need 4 sparkle just in case. But I mean, you can add another Malwetta, something, but you don't need 4 VIP pass. I think 3. If you're gonna play anything, max 3. You don't need 4.
Yeah,
But
I can agree.
But anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting about that.
Okay, so that is all the deck lists in his video. Now, let's go to the decks that you and me are personally probably going to build from after Brilliant Stars comes out. Now, preface, these are not decks that we are going to be building that we already have and are going to update. Like, I'm still going to play Single Strike Urshifu when Brilliant Stars comes out. I'm just going to make some replacements for a choice belt or 2 and for Ultra Ball. Ryan, you probably stand to say for me when it comes for Victini and when it comes to actually, what else are you gonna keep? What are you gonna keep?
Victini, and that's pretty much it. Like, I'm probably gonna put all my Mew stuff in my binder.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So I got 2 deck lists here that I really like. Also from Zapdos TCG, by the way, good dude. That I'm personally gonna put together. Do you how many do you have? Just the one, or you have one more I want build?
Let me see how many he has for my baby. It looks like he only has 2.
Well, I mean general decks in general, not just one archetype.
Yeah, listen. This is the deck that I'm probably gonna live and die by.
Fair enough. All right, so I guess I'll go by first because I know you've been waiting so long to talk about Charizard. I'll make you wait a little bit longer. So
fair enough.
The first deck that he has posted and I really like, and that I guess the Pokemon gods have been told me to build based on my polls at the pre-release, is Raichu. So, as I've stated, Blacephalon GX is my favorite standard deck of all time. And this is basically just Blacephalon all over again. And I am so happy. So, the list for him is 3 Raichu V, a 2/2 of Arceus, a 4/4 of Flaffy, a 1 of Manaphy, 1 Vikavolt, 1 Raikou, 1 Crobat, and 1 Lumineon. Pretty solid Pokemon lineup. I personally would replace the Vikavolt with a Vikavolt V with a Boltund, or maybe another Raikou. But I do get why the Vikavolt's there. So no big complaints on that. For those who don't know about Raichu, the first attack, if you attack first, if you go first, you can use this attack. Lets you search your deck for a lightning energy and attach it to this Pokemon. So self-ramp.
Yeah, you're getting the 2 energy on their first turn.
Yep, exactly. And then the second attack, 60 times. So 60 damage, discard any amount of lightning energy attached to your Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage times the amount discard this way. Again, it's Blacephalon, just more damage. To get there, obviously Flaffy and Arceus really help you get to that. But again, personally, I would get rid of the Vikavolt. I would personally put a Boltund because that's also a secondary way to start ramping up your energy. And Boltund is not a terrible attacker compared to Vikavolt. Like 2 energy to bop somebody for a lot of energy, that's not bad at all. 4 research, 3 Marnie, 3 boss. No complaints there. I think that's a pretty solid supporter package. Maybe 1 Raihan would be worth it. Honestly, like get you that energy back on and able to discard again. That's just me. Yeah. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Quick Ball, 2 Level Ball, 2 Switch, 1 Escape Rope, and 2 Air Balloon. No real change there. I would maybe try to find a place for a 3rd Level Ball because of your Flaffy and your Flaffy line, but really nothing else. 2 Choice Belt, 2 Stormy Mountains. Again, you need to hit that extra energy and you need to search for your lightning Pokemon. No argument there. Like, I think that's fine. 2 double turbo energy. I still hate it. But if it's only 2, I will concede and be okay with it. You heard it here. In the span of 1 episode, I turned around on double turbo energy. The sky is falling and hell is frozen over. And then 9 lightning energy. So I personally think, maybe this is just a Blacephalon player yelling at me. I personally think 9 lightning energy is too low. I would be more comfortable with maybe 10 or 11. Just because you want to hit those bigger knockouts. But because you're doing 10 more damage per energy attached, I think this lower energy count might be okay. Any thoughts, Ryan?
I mean, no, not really.
No? Okay. I guess you don't... This deck was never on your radar, was it?
No, like, after I read it, and I realized that it was Blacephalon when you pulled it, I was like, oh, holy shit, it's actually better than Blacephalon.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would personally maybe add 1 more energy, just because I like to have it. Partly because of my OCD, because 10 is better than 9 for OCD purposes. But I also do think that because it does more damage over time, I think that lesser energy count is fine. And plus, and maybe I would maybe have some sort of energy recursion in this deck. But that's going to be something I'm going to wait till more lists come out and we see more results.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, these are preliminary lists. What we're going into now is lists that don't have much results yet, even from Japan. This is all speculative. So, the next deck, Centiskorch. My fiery boy is back. Fire is good again. Hallelujah.
100%. Hallelujah.
So, Centiskorch V. So, I'll go over the list real quick. 4-3 line of Centiskorch and Centiskorch VMAX. A 2-2 line of Bibarel with hardworking Fangs. Actually, no, they changed it, didn't they? Because this says hardworking Fangs, but the card, what we got in the pre-release said something about something in Sizers, didn't it? Ryan isn't responding. Now I'm concerned.
Give me a second.
All right, while Ryan is searching that up. Crobat, a 1 of Crobat, 1 of Luminion. That's going to be standard for all decks moving forward. A 1 of Entei, a 1 of Victini V, and a 1 of the baby Moltres. Now...
Which Victini?
The base set one. Sword Shield base, or whatever the... yeah.
Okay, Spreading Flames. Got it.
Yeah. So, Entei, loving this deck. It is literally Suicune for fire. I love the fact it's in this deck. Victini. And Victini and Moltres, I don't like the Moltres at all in this deck. I personally would put in a second Entei. Even if it's a single prize attacker, it's not doing much. The Victini, I actually really do love because, like you said, Spreading Flames gets you that fire energy on your Pokemon. It's great.
Yep. What was your question? Because my mom was asking.
The Bibarel ability.
Yeah.
The picture I see on this screen says hardworking Fangs. Did they change it?
What do you mean, did they change it?
Did they change the name?
Hold on. I got it in my binder. Hold on.
While he's doing that.
Ability is Industrious and Scissors.
And so they changed it because this says hardworking Fangs. That's so weird to me. Alright, so moving forward. 4 Research, 3 Boss, 2 Marnie, 2 Rose. I actually really love that for this deck. simply because we have essentially because we have the barrel in the list. So even if you lose your hand, you can still just draw back into it. I love Rose in this deck. So 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Quick Ball, 3 Switch, 1 Rope, 1 Pad, 1 Power Pad, 2 Air Balloon, 2 Choice Belt. Pretty solid item support, like no major complaints on it. 4 Magma Basin, the card that is saving fire. I understand that's probably why Moltres is in this deck. Because, you just simply attach the fire energy from the basin and boom, you got your damage on it to do 120. I get it. I still don't like it in the deck. And then 10 fire and 2 heat. So the only change I would make from this deck, as I've said, is get rid of the 1 Moltres, add another Entei. But honestly, other than that, I have no other complaints for this deck. This is probably what I will base my actual Set to Scorch deck on. But that will not be put together until probably for a few weeks, so I can order the cards. Yeah, Ryan, do you have any thoughts on him, on Senti?
Senti was my baby before we knew each other. I ran that thing into the ground, and I played it even when Decidueye was like the only thing played. Baby Volcanion came in clutch for me, but I just put Big Charms in my deck, and I always put Big Charm on Baby Volcanion because Decidueye couldn't knock it out. But I was, like I said, it was just, I loved Son of Scorch, but it's just when Welder went away, I was like, okay, fire's gone. I'm sad. So
Rest in peace, Welder.
Yeah, well, if you want to go to expand it, it's over there.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Those are the only decks that are new for me. Talk about your baby. Go off.
Okay. Well, it's not a lot since it's a pretty straightforward deck. So the list that I have, I don't really like the list that Zapdos TCG has. Sorry if you're ever going to listen to this. But the list that I actually really like, -1 card, is from Rare Candy. So shout out to them. It's a 3/3 line of Charizard V, V-Star, 2 Moltres, 1 Manaphy, 1 Crobat V, 1 Luminion V, 1 Kricketune V, 1 Entei V, 4 Research, 3 Marnie, 3 Boss, 2 Ryon, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Quick Ball, 3 Cramomatic, 2 Switch, 2 Escape Rope, 2 Energy Search, 2 Air Balloon, 2 Choice Belt, 4 Magna Basin, 10 Fire Energy. The only one I don't really like in this deck is Kricketune.
That's a really strange addition.
Because you're putting it in there for the draw support, obviously. But you're putting in really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're really putting in 6 cards that you're sacrificing. Kricketune, Luminion, Crobat, Manaphy, and 2 Moltres. Those are your sacrifice cards. If you got to put something up in the active because you're still building Charizard up, or Entei up, or Moltres, for whatever reason, like you just don't have the damage counters on Moltres yet, you're putting one of those up. You're not going to put the other ones up unless it can take the damage and they can't knock you out.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't put the Kricketune in there 100%. Like, I kind of don't even want to put the Crobat in there, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I actually still like Crobat in a lot of lists. Thankfully, we're not losing it with rotation because it got reprinted in Shining Fates. So that's still nice to see for me.
But
Uh,
I would probably take Cricketune out, put another Entei.
yeah.
And
Wow, we both are Entei stands here. We both really love
well, I
him.
mean, it's Suicune, bro. Like you said.
Yeah, I know.
And, I mean, and then when you got Raichu, put 2 Raikou in there. I mean,
Yeah.
it just it works.
Yeah. The other big thing I want to talk about, also something I didn't realize, Torterra is very good. I realized that over the weekend. Torterra is going to be very good,
Yeah, 50
especially
times the
now
amount of your
evolution.
evolutions, not
It's
your
any
opponent.
evolution.
Yours.
It's any evolution too. All right.
Yeah, stage 1 or 2.
That's pretty much all I have
Yep.
regarding this topic. Do you have any last thoughts before we move on, I guess, to the cooldown?
No.
All right. So, well, I mean, we're well over an hour at this point, but I think it's a good time. So as I introduced last week, and Manny called me out on it, I am an officer. That's why it's called this. Shut up,
Lieutenant Dan.
So, like I said, the cooldown, something cool outside the world of Pokemon. I mean, last week I talked about a really cool horror podcast called Archive 81. I do have another recommendation on that front. The Black Tapes. It is one I recently got into about this journalist works with ghost hunters, and she goes to this guy who really doesn't believe in ghosts, and he tries his damnedest to like disprove any kind of ghost. And he gets these things called the black tapes, which are instances of the supernatural that he can't explain with science. He says yet. It's a pretty decently long series. Like it's like 3 seasons, I think. But so far, I'm personally loving it. If you enjoy it, I would give it a listen. Other than that, I mean, I'm honestly still getting through JoJo Stone Ocean, trying to finish that, and yeah, also Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 announced for next year, and the movie comes out in a month. I'm excited. Okay, that's enough rambling from me, Ryan.
If you guys are interested in ghost stuff and everything like that, I did mention last episode as well. Weird shit I've seen as a Marine. It says that in the title, written, but for YouTube purposes, it's weird stuff I've seen as a Marine. There's, I think, a total of 15 videos. It's real encounters for a Marine that I didn't think was real, but having a friend that was in the Marine Corps asked him about this base, told him about what I heard in these stories, and he kind of confirmed everything that was saying. It was like, yeah, I heard about that guy. I heard about these stories. I can confirm about the stuff that he's saying in these stories because I've experienced stuff like that. I was baffled. And the other one is Cerber. It's like, Cerber. It's like Uber, but for the paranormal. It's all read by Nature's Temper. If you don't know who Nature's Temper is, I feel bad for you, but you need to go look him up. And he does a lot of readings from people from Reddit. It's stories that are submitted to him on Reddit, and he reads them on his YouTube channel. He also has a Discord. He also has a Facebook. He also has an Instagram. He's all over social media. And I mean, the way he reads stories, they're so true, and they just send goosebumps from head to toe in certain situations, and you're just like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're amazing. I would recommend those.
I also got reminded of one more thing. For those who didn't watch yesterday or those who don't care, Super Bowl. I just like to say though, like the game was great.
Ooh.
Even though those last 5 minutes were a little bit spotty on the ref calls. I would also like to say that halftime show was awesome.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. That halftime show was amazing.
Legendary. 100% legendary. Best halftime show.
In the end, no, it was respect to Tupac after California Love. Get your heads out of your butts. He was showing a sign of respect. Anyway, but no, show was great. Dre did amazing. Snoop was amazing. Seeing 50 was honestly really cool. I thought that was funny. Mary J, amazing as always.
Oh my god, she's so gorgeous still.
I agree. Kendrick did great.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And then I texted this in our group chat as we were watching. All of them did so fantastic, and then Eminem came out and blew everybody out of the water.
100%. Even though his was so short that it was just it wasn't short, but it was.
I mean, and this is the rocker in me. Like, I love the fact they had like that little. They let the band kind of go all out with Eminem and Lose Yourself.
I mean,
there was another point. Oh, and also that first part when Snoop and Dre were doing Still Dre, and you could tell they were they had to like stop themselves several times from cursing. That was so funny to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you tell them to perform and you tell them specific songs. Most of the time they tell them what songs that they want them to perform. And then they're like, but you can't cuss. And it's like, then why do you want me to sing this song?
Yeah.
Like, all I do is say the N word or the F word or
I mean,
you know, or
I mean the N word I understand. I understand why they have to do it, but still, I still found it funny. Everyone knocked out of the park. End of rants. I have nothing. So with that, the cooldown, I guess, is now over. Do you have anything left to say before we peace out for the night, Ryan?
Nope, I got nothing to say besides this. I hope you're recovering well from your surgery.
It will never end.
It will never end, Lieutenant Dan, because you will always have new legs.
So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, hopefully we have Cookie back next week. Hopefully we have the full trio. It's not just me and Ryan again. And hopefully we have some new news to talk about. So, with that being said, this has been SRQ PokeVets. I'm Jacob.
I'm Ryan.
And we will see you guys next week. Peace.
Bye-bye.